behind Lesser Slave Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, the Minister of Environment finally got around to issuing an environmental protection order after 1 billion litres of coal slurry from a tailings pond, a toxic sludge containing arsenic, mercury and lead, poisoned the Athabasca River. Mr. Speaker, this catastrophe took place 3 weeks ago. It is the biggest environmental disaster of its kind in the history of this country. On what planet is it reasonable to wait 3 weeks to tell the company it has to clean up? On what planet, Mr. Speaker, is it reasonable to wait 19 days to tell the public that 40 times the recommended levels of arsenic have been found in the water? Yet the Minister's focus all along has been to downplay the long-term damage and the danger that it has created to Albertans. In scale, Mr. Speaker, this disaster is 25 times bigger than the Exxon Valdez spill. The impact on the Athabasca River will affect generations of wildlife for decades and decades or more to come. And even the order they've now reluctantly made fails to address the impacts on communities further downriver. This toxic sludge will end up in the Northwest Territories, meaning that over 1,000 kilometres of one of Alberta's most important rivers will be affected. In a manner that is reminiscent of an episode of The Simpsons, towns like Athabasca, Fort McMurray and Fort Chip are being told to simply turn off their intake while the 100-kilometre plume of poison floats by their community. But this approach, Mr. Speaker, ignores the fact that as this plume floats by, poisonous toxins are deposited in and along the river, toxins that will impact water quality for years to come. And, Mr. Speaker, the Mackenzie Basin, one of Canada's most important ecological resources in the country, it cannot turn off its water intake. The Minister of Environment for the Northwest Territories says he wasn't informed until 5 days after this spill. He says, quote, "In my recollection, this is the first of this type of catastrophic failure," end quote. Yet the Alberta government's response is, the plume will be fine and everything will be safe. Really, Mr. Speaker, really?